Today I'm opening up about a moment that reshaped my entire world. My 26th birthday dinner. What started as a night of celebration became a devastating revelation. One that exposed a betrayal I never saw coming. But more than that, it's a story of how I turned pain into resilience, with a little help from those who truly had my back. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let me take you through the wild ride of how I faced betrayal head on and came out stronger. It all began in a restaurant. Not my favorite spot, but one my boyfriend Nathan insisted we go on. Honestly, I was just happy he'd remembered my birthday this year, something he conveniently forgotten before. My best friends, Claire and Sophia, joined us. Their laughter filled the air as we sipped cocktails and nibbled on appetizers. I'd known Claire since our college days, sneaking into dorm parties and dreaming about our futures. Sophia came into my life later, but her fierce loyalty made her feel like family. That night, their presence grounded me, a reminder of the love I'd always relied on. The vibe was light, festive, the kind of birthday moment you post about with heart eye emojis. But then Nathan started acting strange, slipping away to the bathroom every 15 minutes like clockwork. I brushed it off at first. Maybe he was nervous. Maybe it was the spicy wings, but a nagging feeling crept in. During one of his absences, I caught Claire staring at her phone. Her face turned pale. She whispered something to Sophia, whose eyes widened in shock. When I asked what was wrong, Claire forced a smile, tucked her phone away. Just some silly online drama, she said, but her voice trembled. Sophia nodded a bit too quickly, avoiding my gaze. I knew that they were hiding something, but I didn't push it. Not yet. Nathan returned, all charm, sliding an arm around me and planting a kiss on my forehead. He snapped Instagram selfies, captioning them "my everything" with a string of heart emojis. To the world, we were the perfect couple. But his recent behavior, distant, glued to his phone, canceling plans last minute, had been eating at me. I'd ignored the red flags, chalking up to stress, but that night, they felt impossible to dismiss. You see, Nathan wasn't just any boyfriend. My dad, who built a freight empire from the ground up, had taken him under his wing. When Nathan's family hit hard times, his dad lost his job, their savings drained, Dad gave him a job at his company, one that paid far more than Nathan deserved. Dad even covered his rent for nearly a year, all because I vouched for him, convinced he was my forever. I spent 3 years building a life with Nathan, believing his promises, his I love yous, his vision of our future. Looking back, I see how I let love blind me, how I'd ignored the cracks in his facade because I wanted too badly to believe in us. Back at his apartment that night, Nathan hinted at a big surprise for my birthday. Exhausted from the day, I told him I wasn't up for it. His face twisted and he snapped, calling me ungrateful for all his effort. It stung, but I was too tired to argue. As he slept, I couldn't shake Claire's reaction. I texted her, "Show me what you saw." Her reply was hesitant with a warning, "It's bad." "You sure?" My heart raced, but I typed back, "Just send it." Link arrived, and with trembling hands, I clicked it. It was Nathan's secret TikTok, one he'd sworn he didn't have because TikTok's for kids. The account featured a series called Ranking My Girlfriend Circle with 6 videos. The latest had my face in the thumbnail, a red X slashed across it, already at 47,000 views. I pressed play. My pulse pounded. Nathan's voice filled the room. "And here's my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm suffering. She's pathetic, delusional, only good for her dad's money. Look at this creature." Video used photos from our beach trip last month, where I'd been so nervous about wearing a bikini. Nathan had held my hand, told me I was stunning, said he was proud of me for facing my fears. Those same photos were now twisted into a cruel mockery, paired with a sneering commentary. The comments were worse, hundreds of strangers and his friends calling me names, joking about my body, my worth. Nathan had liked every one, even replying with laughter emojis. I felt my heart shatter, not just from the betrayal, but from the realization that the man sleeping beside me had been humiliating me for clout. I scrolled through his phone while he slept, uncovering dating apps, messages with friends mocking me, and group chats where they laughed at my expense. Nathan lived in an apartment my dad owned, drove a car Dad helped buy, and worked a job only because of Dad's generosity, all while trashing me online. The irony hit hard. I'd convinced Dad to help him, penning Nathan as the love of my life. I wanted to scream, to shake him awake and demand answers. But a colder, sharper instinct stopped me. Confronting him would let him lie, deflect, or blame me. He'd lose me, sure, but the videos made it clear he didn't care about me. Only my dad's money. I needed something smarter, something that would make him feel the weight of his actions. The next morning, I made him breakfast, kissed him goodbye, and acted like nothing was wrong. Then I called Claire and Sophia. I saw it all. I told them, and I'm not just breaking up with him. I'm not just exposing him. I want him to regret every word. They were all in, their anger matching mine. We spent 3 days diving into Nathan's social media, uncovering accounts on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, all under aliases, but unmistakably him. Each one was a dagger. Posts comparing me to hotter women, rants about being stuck with me, boasts about using my family's wealth. Claire and Sophia helped me save everything. Screenshots, videos, comments, even a group chat where his friends joke about my weight, my voice, and how Nathan was taking one for the team for Dad's money. Every word fueled my resolve. My dad is my rock, a single father who's always been fiercely protective. When I started dating Nathan, he was skeptical, but softened when he saw my happiness. When Nathan's family struggled, I begged Dad to help, and he trusted my judgment. Now I had to tell him I'd been wrong. We met at his favorite steakhouse, just the two of us. I planned to ease into it, but seeing his kind, worried eyes broke me. I showed him everything, the videos, the comments, the messages. His face shifted from confusion to shock to a quiet, steely rage I'd rarely seen. He scrolled through the evidence in silence, then asked, "Are you okay?" I admitted I wasn't, but I would be. "I'm not letting him get away with this," I said. Dad nodded, his voice low. "Do what you need to do. I've got you." Dad, not just a businessman, he's a survivor, having built his empire through recessions and cutthroat competitors. He knew how to handle someone like Nathan. We crafted a plan, meticulous and deliberate, to make Nathan regret crossing us. Step 1. Dad reassigned him to a grueling warehouse job across town. Longer hours, harder work, less pay. Nathan asked why. Dad shrugged it off as budget cuts, nothing personal. Step 2, we targeted his apartment, which he leased from Dad's property company. With Dad's lawyers, we found multiple violations, subletting to his friend Ryan without permission, holes in the walls hidden by posters, and an illegal pet gecko. Instead of eviction, we opted for relentless routine maintenance, inspections scheduled at the worst times to drive Nathan up the wall. He hated everyone in his space, and we knew this would unravel him. Step 3, Dad called in Nathan's car loan, which he'd missed payments on, demanding full payment that he couldn't afford. Within a week, his cushy life was crumbling, and he had no idea. I knew why. I played the perfect girlfriend, all smiles and support, watching him squirm. He griped about the job transfer, confused why Dad would do this to him. I looked him in the eye and said, "Maybe Dad's helping you grow, giving you a chance to prove yourself." He nodded, clueless, still thinking Dad was his ally. He ranted about the apartment inspections, saying they were invasive. I suggested he tidy up, maybe get rid of the gecko he wasn't supposed to have. His shocked expression was priceless. He had no idea I knew. When he whined about the car loan, he begged me to talk to my dad. I said I'd think about it, then changed the subject, leaving him dangling. Claire and Sophia checked in daily, worried I'd crack, but watching Nathan's perfect world collapse was more than satisfying than any confrontation. By week 2, Nathan was a wreck, exhausted from the warehouse, stressed from inspections, panicked about the car. He'd snap at me, then catch himself, remembering he needed to keep sweet. That's when we launched Phase 2. I accidentally left my laptop open with a fake email from Dad about revising his will, mentioning me inheriting the business and a trust fund at 30. It was a lie crafted with Dad, but Nathan took the bait. That night he was suddenly attentive, cooking dinner, giving me shoulder rubs, gushing out about how he always knew I'd run the company someday. I smiled, imagining his greedy calculations. The next day I suggested moving in together, independent of Dad's help. Nathan panicking, making excuses about his finances, then backtracked, suggesting we use one of Dad's luxury apartments instead. I said I'd consider it, watching him relax, thinking he'd won. Unbeknownst to him, I'd already moved my belongings out of his place, clothes, makeup, books, even the espresso machine I'd gifted him that he never used because he hated coffee. Claire and Sophia helped me pack during his work hours, erasing my presence from his life. I documented everything: secret videos of his lies, recordings of our talks, notes of every fake "I love you." The warehouse job isolated him from his toxic friends who now avoided him, suspecting he was Dad's spy. His car situation worsened. The bank sent a final notice, and with his reduced pay, he was helpless. He even tried bypassing me, pleading with Dad directly at his office. Dad listened to Nathan's sob story about loving me, then said, "Prove it. Propose to her. Then we'll talk." Nathan came to me that night, buzzing with excitement, saying Dad had given me the man-to-man advice. He asked about my taste in rings, and I played along, showing him styles I liked. When he suggested dinner at the same restaurant, claiming he wanted to make up for my birthday, I knew he was planning a proposal. Not out of love, but for a financial lifeline. I called Claire and Sophia, telling them Phase 3 was on. They were livid but trusted my plan. For the dinner, I spent hours getting ready, wearing a bold dress Nathan had once mocked in his videos, saying it had made me almost as hot as Sophia. I looked flawless, my confidence a silent weapon. Nathan was nervous, fidgeting with his jacket pocket, insisting on driving despite his car's looming repossession. At the restaurant, he ordered champagne, reminiscing about our first date, claiming those moments were sacred. I sat there, replaying his TikTok words, calling me pathetic, a creature, and the comments he'd laughed at. As dessert arrived, he dropped to one knee, pulling out a cheap ring, likely bought on credit, and poured out a speech about loving me forever. I looked at his earnest face, the smiling diners around us, and said, "No." His smile froze. He laughed, thinking I was joking, but I repeated louder, "No." He stood flustered, begging to talk privately. I refused, pulling out my phone and playing his TikTok full volume. "She's pathetic, delusional, only good for her dad's money." His face drained of color, then flushed red. He reached for my phone, but I pulled it back, telling him never to touch me again. Restaurant buzzed with whispers. Nathan hissed that I was embarrassing myself, but stood firm. "I know everything I said, every video, every message, every lie. I'm done. You've lost your meal ticket, your easy ride." I revealed I'd moved out, taken everything, and left him with nothing but his cowardice. He stormed out, leaving me with a check and the ring box. That night, he bombarded me with calls and texts, voicemails, rage, then desperation, then threats. I blocked him across every platform, even an old college email he dug up. He left notes at my apartment, but security kept him out. Claire and Sophia came over, ready to celebrate, but I needed a shower to wash away his betrayal. I spent hours deleting his digital footprint from my life, trying to erase 3 years of lies. The fallout escalated. Nathan started showing up at my favorite coffee shop, the grocery store near my office, even my gym, pretending to bump into me. His apologies were hollow. "I'm sorry you're upset, but you know I love you." I ignored him, walking past like he was invisible. One night, leaving a bar with Claire, I saw his car idling across the street. I filmed him, confronting him through his window, demanding he'd leave or I'd call the police. He sped off, tires screeching. Online, he posted vague rants about fake people and women who ruin men. His friends tried to DM me, but I'd locked down my accounts, changed my number, and wiped my socials. I wasn't scared, just done. Dad offered a security guard, but I refused. I handled worse than a desperate man with a TikTok obsession. Dad's lawyer, we sent Nathan a notice for lease violations, subletting, damage, the gecko, giving him 30 days to vacate. Inspections continued, always at inconvenient times, pushing him to the edge. He yelled at the property company, but they cited his lease terms. His friends Ryan bailed and his other friends vanished. 3 weeks after the proposal, his car was repossessed. Claire sent me a photo of Nathan watching the tow truck defeated. I kept it as a reminder of karma. At work, Dad moved him to the graveyard shift, long, dark hours were the worst tasks. Nathan complained, but no one cared. He was the boss's daughter's ex, untouchable. I built a case with a lawyer, compiling a thick file of screenshots, videos, and texts. Claire and Sophia had helped organize it, sorting by date and cruelty. Some messages, jokes about my body, my voice, even my late mom nearly broke me, but I refused to let Nathan win. Dad shut down his every move, installing cameras, changing locks. Nathan's threats of a lawsuit fizzled. The paperwork was ironclad. 2 days before his eviction, Sophia texted, "He's out." I drove by, seeing him drag trash bags along, paranoid and friendless. Days later, I found "Gold Digger Loser" scrawled on my apartment door. I laughed, snapped a photo, and scrubbed it off, refusing to let him scare me. He sent Dad messages, claiming that I was the one who cheated or stolen, but Dad ignored them, adding each to our file. A handwritten letter begged for a talk was trashed by my receptionist. 3 weeks post-eviction, the warehouse manager, a family friend, called. Nathan had skipped 4 shifts, left his locker full of junk, energy drink cans, torn notes, old photos of us. I told him to toss it all. Then one morning I saw Nathan outside my office holding a "Forgive Me" sign, looking broken, stubbled, red-eyed, shaking. He'd been there for 3 days, the receptionist said. I shrugged, told her to call security if he entered, and went to work. By lunch, he was gone, his sign leaning against a trash can. I sent a photo to Claire, Sophia, and Dad, a small victory. I kept waiting for Nathan to escalate, but he seemed out of moves. Still, I stayed cautious, checking lobbies, keeping my phone close, avoiding solo walks. Old friends and distant relatives reached out, hearing rumors of Nathan outside my work. His friend Ryan sent a long text about Nathan needing closure. I blocked him, done with anyone tied to a man who'd built a brand on shaming me. The apartment was trashed when he left. Holes, stains, a foul smell, costing him thousands in fees. Dad called it karma. I just wanted Nathan gone. A warehouse manager reported Nathan picking up his final check, ranting about being set up. They locked the door behind him. By my next birthday, Nathan was a distant memory. I didn't flinch passing our old restaurant or seeing his repossessed car's model on the street. I celebrated with Claire and Sophia and Dad, laughing over their goofy toast, wearing the vibrant dress Nathan had mocked. In the mirror, I saw someone I loved, strong, unbroken. Occasional weird DMs or friend requests don't faze me. I forwarded them to the lawyer and moved on. Nathan's out there probably spinning a sob story about how I ruined him, but I know who I am and I know what he is. A footnote in my story, a cautionary tale of resilience over betrayal. Subscribe for more stories of turning pain into power, and drop in the comments how you risen above betrayal.